Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al, week 14, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the best running backs that there are to play on DraftKings in week 14. So when you're playing NFL DFS, I suggest that you try to break down running backs beyond just, well, this is his projection and this is how much he costs. You got to think about why they're projected at that, and a couple of things that add up to scoring points over expectation historically. Back-tested data shows that there are 5 different things that will lead to that, and we kind of focus on ones that have all 5 of those checkboxes marked off. Are they playing at home? Are they favored? Do they have an expectation of 20 opportunities? Do they have involvement in the passing game? And do they get those all-important carries inside the 5-yard line? Those are the 5 boxes that I like to check off, and we call those 5-box running backs. We'll talk about some of those as well as a couple of other running backs that may or may not be 5-box running backs this week, but I think are good plays anyway. So thank you guys for being here. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and let's go.
He's a legend.
If you are not already subscribed and you are interested in watching the week 13 recap, that video exists on the Al Smizzle Fantasy Football channel. You can either search for it up here in the search box, or you can just go to smizzle.tv/ff. It'll take you right there. If you're not subscribed, it'll also prompt you to subscribe right at that point. So I come out with a recap video every single week, as well as other videos throughout the year and some shorts and everything else. A whole other channel that we're going to come out with content throughout the off season to prepare you for your 2023 fantasy football drafts. It's more guided towards season-long fantasy. So if you play best ball or anything like that, or if you want to catch that recap video for how everything went in week 13, go to the Al Smizzle Fantasy Football channel. The Smiz Gang Listener League is posted, $10, 3 max, $35,000, and absolutely no rake. If you wanted to enter that, you got to go to smizzle.tv/links. It does not exist in the DraftKings lobby. The only way to get there is through and using my link. There is one in the description down below if you expand that to show more, or if you just click the link in the pinned comment for smizzle.tv/links, that'll take you to the link tree. There's a link to the Listener League as well as everything else that I do. So just go down the list and click everything and follow all the things. Follow me on Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, Fantasy Football channel, join the Discord, give to the charity. All those sorts of things are right there at smizzle.tv/links. Starting with the 5-box running backs, not in any particular order. It's not like this is the number 1 running back on the week and the next one's the number 2. We're just going to discuss some of the guys that are playing at home and favored. And guess what? Derrick Henry is a 5-box running back because he has been involved in the passing game. He has been very inefficient recently. When we take a little bit of a deeper dive, he played Philadelphia, Cincinnati. Okay, Green Bay is a team that we want to attack, and he did not do well against them in a game that they won, though he did have 30 opportunities that week. And Denver, who is also a very tough defense. Guess what? Jacksonville, not a very tough defense against running backs. So I'm expecting a return to like the 25 to 30 opportunities. I'm expecting this target rate to continue. And this has been gold. A 69-yard catch here that should have been a touchdown. It ended in a fumble, and Treylon Burks landed on that one. A 42-yard catch and rumble against Green Bay. This is what we've been preaching all throughout the years for Derrick Henry. If you throw him the ball on screen passes and get him outside of defensive linemen, and now with a convoy of 2-3 blockers in front of him, there is no 195 or 200 pound defensive back who wants to get in the way of this man moving at full speed. It's just stupid. They make business decisions when trying to tackle Derrick Henry, and it leads to long plays like this, or like this, or like these 3 right here. Throw the man 1 screen pass a quarter and let us all live. 7,900 for 30 touches at home against Jacksonville. I'm okay with that price. I don't know what his percentage is going to be in tournaments yet. We'll evaluate that as the week moves on. Ken Walker III. Now, it's Tuesday when I record this video, and there's a couple of plays on this one that I'm going to have to talk you through. And then I've never heard of a jammed ankle, but he has a jammed ankle. They're officially calling it a right ankle strain. He could be available for Sunday's game against the Panthers, as long as it's something that is not structural and it's just, muscular, not bonular. I don't know how to put it, where Ken Walker can be hopped up on the happy juice and be able to play through that. He has seen some involvement in the passing game. I do expect him to be heavily utilized in this game if he is a go for it. Carolina has given up tons of yards to opposing running backs this year. They are a soft spot. Seattle is at home and favored in this one by 3.5 points. 20 plus opportunities incoming in this one. He has 9 touchdowns, 9 in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks that he has been the lead guy since Penny left halfway through one of those weeks. And he didn't even play more than like 4 opportunities against the Rams last week. So his touchdown expectation, extremely high. His usage inside the 5-yard line, extremely high. And they want to establish the hell out of it. And they should be able to against the Carolina Panthers defense. Najee Harris getting plenty of volume. Not a resurgent Pittsburgh offense. They are kind of what they are. And they're giving him all the volume in the world. They are playing at home. They are favored by 5 because of the Lamar Jackson injury. Vegas not expecting him to play. That spread shifted by like 5 points since open towards the Steelers. At home, favored really low total, though. 38 is the total in this one. If the Steelers do score touchdowns, it is very likely that Harris is going to be the recipient of them, unless it's like a pass to Pickens or Freiermuth, right? Like he's one of their top touchdown scorers with 6 on the year. Their top touchdown options, not scores. He's obviously the highest on their team, but like they just don't have very much touchdown upside. But when they do get inside the 5-yard line, it is all Harris. As we've seen here. He's also seen an uptick in his efficiency, averaging over 4 yards per carry for 4 of the last 5 weeks. So 5,800, very cheap price. Now we get into kind of the question marks. Joe Mixon still in concussion protocol. He's missed 2.5 games. You don't know when the concussion symptoms are going to go away. Sometimes it takes 5 days. Sometimes it takes 5 weeks. Sometimes it takes 5 months. So we just don't know. If Joe Mixon is cleared and is back, he's going to be the guy against the Cleveland Browns, a team that we want to play running backs against literally every week. Taking a look at what Underdog just posted. Samaje Perine usage and productions among running backs for weeks 11 through 13. 11 was the week that Joe Mixon left. 13 was last week. 162 of 208 snaps, 70 routes run on 120 dropbacks for his quarterback. So they don't really utilize him to block a whole lot. So like he's out in the route when they drop back like 60% of the time. 17 targets, 4th most at the running back position. 14 over the last 2 weeks specifically. 49 rush attempts, 8th. 3rd in red zone targets with 3. 6th in red zone carries with 6. 71 fantasy points. So if Mixon's out, Samaje Perine just becomes that dude once again because of the matchup, because they are home and favored by 6 points right now. At last check, they have a team total of 26.5. Lots of touchdowns expected to fall out of this one. And Perine doesn't really he's not as good a running back as Joe Mixon is. His success rate on runs is a lot lower, but it's undeniable that when he's going to run against a lot of light boxes, specifically with Jamar Chase being back. You can't load up the box, nor would you against Samaje Perine. So he gets the benefit of running behind a solid offensive line with an exceptional quarterback, getting 7 targets per game the last 2 weeks when he has been pressed into full-time share of starter snaps against a defense that has not stopped opposing running backs in a game where his team is at home and favored. He's only 6,300. So we won't know until Friday or Saturday when we find out if Mixon is practicing in full on Friday, or Saturday with the Shefty news dump sometime in the evening, when we find out if Joe Mixon is ready to go in this game, before we know whether or not this is going to be the situation where we want to play people. But if he is the lead back again, we want to play Samaje. The other one that we have to talk about, 2 running backs, is the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are favored by, let me check here. Cowboys are favored by 74 points this week over the Houston Texans. It's true. Don't look it up. Don't. Okay. You don't need to go to the sports books. Just trust me. Favored by 76 points. It's really 16, but like the 1 can look like a 7 if you just extend that little serif on the top, right? Tony Pollard is the better running back. Okay. I don't think that that's even up for debate at this point. I mean, you could debate it. You'd be wrong. But like Pollard's the better, more explosive running back. He's a better pass blocker this year by PFF stats. He is just as good as inside the, running the ball inside the tackles. He's been explosive, way more big plays, higher success rate, more EPA per play. Everything he beats Ezekiel Elliott in. However, in week 13, Even with Ezekiel Elliott not playing at all in the first quarter, he still played 53.8% of the snaps and was given 54.1% of Dallas's running back touches, while Tony Pollard only had 43.1 and saw 37.8% of the running back touches. Tony Pollard's the better back. He's 6,700, but Ezekiel Elliott's going to play more, and he's 600 less. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't. All I care about is who's going to play more. He got 20 opportunities, Zeke did, against Indy. He's going to get twice as many inside the 5 carries as Pollard. Neither one of them, unless they break 2 really long plays for touchdowns, has 30-plus point upside. They are both at home. They are both favored. Zeke has an expectation of 20 touches. I'd say that Pollard, I just skipped back to P. Ryan. I would say that Pollard has an expectation of about 15 opportunities, as we saw from him last week. But we know what he can do with full-time duty. He just is not going to get that as long as Zeke is there. So in my opinion, Pollard's the better back. Ezekiel Elliott at 6,100 is the better play in terms of volume or cash games or whatever, with Pollard being fine for tournaments, also in play because of how terrible this matchup is this week. Houston is that bad defensively. And like, I'm fine with both. I'm fine with both in tournaments. I skew towards Ezekiel Elliott. We'll see what the percentages are in terms of GPPs this week, but both of them being active kind of caps each other's ceiling. So it kind of sucks both ways. Dalvin Cook going up against Detroit, still getting 23 opportunities last week, 27 opportunities against New England. New England going to mute your, they're really good defensively, specifically against running backs, but Detroit isn't. They're going to give up a whole lot of yards. They're going to give up a whole lot of touches. They're going to give up a whole lot of points. This game is the highest totaled game on the slate by like a lot. Like the next highest totaled game, the Vikings Lions is 53.5. Usually it's like 51. Then there's a 50, maybe a 48.5. It goes from 53.5 with Vikings Lions, and it's essentially a pick 'em. The Lions are favored by like 1 or 2 points in this one. Who thought that the Lions would ever be favored ever this year? And yet they're favored at home against a division leading team. Shocking, I know. Still a team total of 26 here for the Vikings. The next highest totaled game is the Browns and Bengals at 47. This is the spot. And Dalvin Cook still getting a whole lot of work, still getting great usage inside. Big plays come from him all season long. 81-yard run, a 21-yard run there in week 13, 81 in week 10, 30 against Arizona, 53-yard run for a touchdown against Miami. Still has that big playability and slate breaking ability, but only 7,300, well off of the most premium running backs, but in the most premium spot. And on the other side, we saw DeAndre Swift jump into a much better role in terms of his usage. It is entirely possible. Like we were hoping, like, look, if you're not going to play him full, sit him, right? Let him get good. Let him get well, because playing through injuries is not the way to get better. But like all of a sudden, now he's back up to this Kamara usage, back up to this 14 attempts, 6 targets. I can't put him in the 5-box role just yet because I don't know how sticky this 14 and 6 is, but I want it to be sticky so badly. He's going to seed touchdowns inside the 5 carries to Jamal Williams. That's going to be a thing. But he has way more big playability, is much better in the passing game, and has such explosiveness that at 5,800, if DeAndre Swift, I'm going to be conservative and project him for 15 plus opportunities and not 20 plus opportunities. But at 15 plus opportunities in the highest total game of the day against a team that just gave up, that made Bam Knight look really good for the 2nd week in a row, DeAndre Swift in this Detroit offense moves much better and much more smoothly, especially at home, than does the Jets offense. So DeAndre Swift, also a really solid play, sub 6K this week. I wish you all the best of luck this weekend. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.